All right, so welcome everyone to the weekly coaching call. My name is Omar Pinto, and we're going to dive right in with Tori. So, Tori, tell us about what's going on with you. What's the latest?
Here's just right in front of me. The latest is that I need to move somewhere and I don't know where I'm moving. I moved up here to Rhode Island a year ago, and it hasn't been the best experience because COVID. I've been really isolated and I got really depressed, and it's been hard to make friends. And so, before that, I lived in Florida for 7 years. And I was thinking about moving back to Florida. And I was in Florida last week. And it wasn't great. And so for me, the grass is always greener on the other side, right? So it's always going to be better when I get somewhere. And, I recognize that it's not. And, I've been meditating every morning, just practicing being in the moment. And so I fantasize, every day now, just quitting my job and moving to Hawaii and working on a boat and not having to think about anything. But what I've always thought about is living in something I wanted to do for a long time is convert out a van and live in a converted van.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's like kind of on my radar right now. I work from home. I can kind of go anywhere I want. And the next year of my life, I do want to travel. And I am going to rent out a converted van for a couple of days next month and just try it out and see how I like it. If I could picture myself in it. So
Okay.
welcome to and I think I'm just stressed out about that too. Where am I going to go? Because I don't really have I have friends I could stay with, but I don't really have anything set up, and it's stressful, but I see a lot of excitement in it too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I'm gonna just stop talking now because I'm rambling.
Okay. So, there's obviously nothing wrong with traveling. As a matter of fact, it is. As a matter of fact, it is fun. So, yeah, let's go over a few of those like qualities. Like what makes traveling, when you think about traveling is what? Traveling is
I feel like in my element, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Traveling is familiar.
Familiar, yeah.
Okay, traveling is familiar. What else is it?
It's fun, it's
Yep.
exciting,
Yep.
it's adventuresome.
Exciting, adventuresome.
It's I always feel out of wanderlust.
Okay.
I don't know, it does something for me. Yeah.
Is it fulfilling?
Yes, it's fulfilling.
Okay. All right. So, wow, I can't find anything negative about traveling.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Right. And so, being, what's the word I'm looking for here? What would you consider having an apartment?
Stuck.
Stuck.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's traveling and then there's stuck. Have you always looked at it that way, or is like
No,
living in one place? What would you
I
care?
have serious commitment issues.
Mm-hmm.
So like with everything in my life, like
Mm-hmm.
the place I was living in Florida, I was there month to month. And
So you can leave whenever you needed to.
yeah.
Okay. All right. So when you think about living in one place, like when you were talking about traveling, it's familiar, it's fun, and it's exciting, it's adventurous. Living in one place is
Boring.
okay. What else?
It gets old, it's boring. God, I feel so like judgmental of myself too saying this.
No. Well, there's going to be, because this is all about you. All
Yeah.
right. Like there's a reason why I travel or enjoys traveling versus living in one place. There's something that um because living in one place provides stability,
Yeah.
security, right? But it
And
gets
I'm used to, well, for a long time I was used to living in chaos.
okay.
And I think that in chaos, I bounced around from treatment center to treatment center.
Mm-hmm.
I bounced around from, different men. I've
Mm-hmm.
bounced around with different things. So now this is another kind of escape, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So yeah, no, it's a pattern.
Yeah.
Okay. But let's see if we can identify a little bit more of this living in one place. It's boring, it gets old. What else?
It's mundane.
Mundane.
Um, it's all right. Like I'm not.
Is it lonely?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So boring, old, mundane, lonely.
Lonely. Yeah. I think lonely is the big one.
What about permanent?
Yeah. Yeah, but if it's like I know my lease is ending, or I knew like I had to get to, this month, this day.
Mm-hmm. But
So yeah,
it's
it's permanent, not like super permanent, but
okay. Because first you said, I want to quit my job, move to Hawaii, and live on a boat. So it's just like I am on the run.
yeah.
Okay. Okay. So when I say I am on the run, what comes up for you when I say that?
Uh I feel like to an extent that's true. I'm on the run escaping. Um I don't know. I've been on the run for to an extent, I think my entire life. In one situation, it just depends on what type of context, but
Okay. So my entire life. So, permanence. What comes up when I say the word permanent or permanence?
it's like itchy.
Okay.
Like I am suffocated.
Okay. Okay. I am suffocated. All right. So there's a very clear divide
Mhm.
between living in one place, having
Mhm.
a permanent resident,
Yep.
okay, and then this freedom and excitement and adventure of traveling, or being on the run, being on the move.
Yep.
Okay, so when I say being on the move, what does that bring up?
I mean, I'm always going somewhere.
I don't know. I've noticed that.
Yeah, I'm always, I think it was last year before COVID hit, like right before COVID hit, I told myself, oh, like this year I'm going to go somewhere every month. I'm going to go do something every month. And obviously that didn't happen. So, at the beginning of this year, I was like, well, I'm going to go somewhere every month this year. And I think last year in 2020, I moved across the country and did that. So I was, and, this year I've done that actually. And I don't know. I just feel I'm so judgmental of myself saying this.
In what sense?
In the sense that like I feel like a hypocrite,
In what sense?
in the sense that why am I complaining about living somewhere permanently because like I actually get to travel and go do stuff? I feel like an ungrateful little bitch, honestly. Yeah.
Okay, so why am I complaining about living someplace permanently?
Yeah.
Okay. Why are you?
I just think I don't know what I want.
Okay. I don't know what I want. Okay, so here's something to consider.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so just try this on for size. All right, so I want you to imagine, I want you to think about those moments when it's quiet, it's still,
Mm-hmm.
there's darkness, right?
Yeah.
So darkness, still, quiet. When it is still, when it is quiet, when there is darkness, what comes up for you?
Um, Uncomfortability. And I think that it just depends to what's going on in my life, because when there's chaos around me, I feel in those moments I can breathe. But there's other times when it's when there's no like, when I'm not super busy and there's not chaos around me, like I have to be doing something.
Okay, so this is danger. This is danger. This is I feel threatened.
Right.
Okay. So I want you to imagine if I'm feeling like there's impending doom or there's danger or there's something to worry about. Okay.
Mhm.
Am I going to take a nap on the couch or am I going to pace around my apartment anticipating this perceived danger?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna be anxious.
Mm. Okay, so this goes back to, I don't know if you remember one of our calls where we were talking with one of these with oh my god, I think it was Michael. If I can't, I think it was Michael, and he couldn't sleep. He wasn't able to sleep. He wasn't able to sleep a full night's sleep
Yep.
because he was raised in so much chaos. There was so much noise and chaos,
Mm-hmm.
right? That it was safer in the chaos because you knew that there was chaos. You knew what was happening. You had your bearings.
Yep.
Okay. I can breathe in the chaos.
Yep.
When it's quiet, it's the waiting.
Yeah.
It's the impending doom. It's like, go to your room and I'm going to give you 3. I'm going to give you a spanking. Go to your room and wait for me. What's more painful? Waiting for it or getting it?
Waiting.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we have to go back in time, and we have to identify this fear. There is this fear of the unknown, of
Yeah.
waiting for something, waiting for the shoe to drop, waiting for something to happen.
Yep.
What does that bring up for you?
My alcoholic father.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like on pins and needles, not waiting for, I don't know, something to happen. He's gonna,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
who knows what'll happen next.
Ah, waiting for something to happen. So guess what? I'm not going to wait for something to happen.
Yeah.
I'm going to get in a boat, because in a boat is in the water and it's far away.
Yeah.
So it's this, and I'm going to get into a moving vehicle. I am, it's about moving, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's easier to hit a standing target than a moving target.
Yep.
So I feel like a target.
Mm. Yeah.
What's going on? What's coming up?
Um, I felt for a long time as a child, um, that I was responsible and for my father's drinking. And I know rationally I'm not, right? But as a child, emotionally, I felt that way. Um, and as a target, different things happening that affected me in my life because of his actions. And that's why I guess that's the target that I feel, right? Um, a lot of the time I stay quiet,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like, stealth, right? Like being super stealth, moving in silence. And that's what I do. So I think that's the thought is brought up when you talk about targeting.
Okay. So as we unpack all this now, okay, as we unpack all this,
Mhm.
what does this what sort of nuances or potential new insights uh could potentially be showing up or coming up for you about this desire to get in a van and start traveling all over the United States?
Um, I mean, like the escapism, right? That escape factor, and I know, like, yeah, it's a pattern um, that I do, right? Because of the targeting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I think I just have more insight into why I do it. And I think that because not a lot of people, like, I guess, travel as much as I do.
No, that's entirely not true.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, this is a culture of travel. These
Yeah.
millennials are like, travel fiends.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, and that's exciting.
Right.
This that I get. There's this, it's familiar, it's fun, it's exciting, it's adventurous, it's fulfilling. Okay, so there is all this, but it's also kind of a reminder that in that world and in that realm, there's only fun, there's only good memories.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so what hasn't happened is in my traveling, I haven't had an opportunity to have bad memories or bad experiences. They've all been good experiences. So inadvertently, what my body and mind is processing is that it's safer to travel because nothing bad happens when we travel.
Mm.
It's dangerous to stay in one spot. It's dangerous to not be moving around, right? It's not safe. I need to keep moving. It's not safe. We need to keep moving.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's almost like being in the jungle. Okay. So imagine you're in the middle of the jungle and there are wild animals.
Yep.
Okay. So if I stay in one place too long, I'm going to get eaten.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so the most important question here, it's not about who gives a shit if you travel all the one. I'm the kind of person that's like, do whatever makes you happy. The
Right.
whole purpose of
Mhm.
being on this earth, of occupying this body.
Yep.
Okay, if you are one of the lucky few to actually possess one of these vehicles,
Right.
then enjoy the shit out of it. Move to another country, learn another language, travel as much as you want. But if everywhere you go,
Mhm.
once you land, is this sense of, is it safe or should
Right.
we keep moving?
Right.
Is it safe or should we keep moving? No, it's not safe. We need to keep moving.
Right.
So ultimately, what's the question?
Am I filling a void?
Oh, you're feeling a void. Okay. No, what's the other question?
Is it safe to do it? Is it safe to do that? And how do I learn how to feel safe?
That's the question. That is the question. There we go. That's the only question.
Right.
What is it going to take?
Right.
What is it going to take for me to feel safe? And so now all we're talking about here, thoughts, feelings, emotions,
Uh-huh.
thoughts, feelings, emotions,
Yep.
thoughts, feelings, emotions. When was the last time an animal almost ate you?
I don't know. Never. Probably never.
Okay.
Yeah.
When was the last time somebody threatened you physically?
Like a year ago.
Okay.
Not, yeah.
Okay. So it's this self-fulfilling prophecy.
Mhm.
The more I focus on it, the more energy, the more weight, the more attention I will pull this into my reality.
Mm.
It's going to feel normal.
Right.
Okay. So someone who is chaotic and irresponsible and alcoholic
Mhm.
is going to feel familiar.
Right. The chaos.
Okay. And there's something really important about that as well. What is it that you weren't able to do for your father?
Um, Save him?
So, how can I redeem myself?
Yeah.
By
I got
saving somebody else.
Yeah.
So we go into this perpetual motion, we go into these patterns. There's a
Uh-huh.
pattern. Okay. So there's a few, right? So, I wasn't able to save my father. So maybe I can redeem myself by saving others,
Right.
anybody else. It
Right.
doesn't matter who it is, but what it will allow me to do is I'm trying to redeem myself. I'm trying to forgive myself. I could also be running from this guilt.
Yes. And I think also that is a big reason why that I'm a people pleaser, and by a lot of people I've gotten walked on, because I'm willing to accept the bar being as low as my feet, and and then I get resentful and but it's because of what I allow.
Mm-hmm. So really what's needed here is the hardest thing that any one of us as humans beings has to do. Guess what that could possibly be?
Acceptance, or
That's one. That's
mhm.
one. Anything else come up?
uh Asking for help.
Very good. There's one.
Uh-huh.
Okay, that's a big one. Asking for help. I got forgiveness here. Somebody posted forgiveness. Acceptance, you said.
Yep.
What else do you need?
um to allow myself to do, or like to allow myself, is that what you're saying?
To allow yourself to what?
Say no to people. I don't know.
So there's ask for help,
Uh-huh.
forgiveness,
Yep.
acceptance, allow yourself. You were onto something there. Something came up and then you like shifted gears.
uh Allow myself to feel.
Yes, yes. That was the answer.
Okay.
That was what I was looking for.
Yeah.
Okay. Process the emotions. So ultimately, and have you seen that Gabor Mate documentary that's going around all over the place
No,
right now?
no, I haven't.
Okay. Do you know which one I'm talking about?
No, I mean, I
The
know.
wisdom of trauma. Okay. I mentioned it last week. Okay. I want you to watch that. So the first action item is going to be watching Gabor Mate's The Wisdom of Trauma,
Okay.
because it's within the trauma that we learn. It is trying to teach us.
Mm.
So ultimately, one question could be, what is what is this what is this fear? What is the fear? The fear is of being trapped, being caught, being hurt. What's the fear?
Yeah, I think being hurt
Hmm.
and trapped. I mean, it's like
Okay.
that fight or flight.
Yep. What is this fear of being trapped or being hurt? Here to teach me. Everything happens for a reason. And so ultimately, if I want courage,
Mm-hmm.
what do I need to do in order to learn how to be courageous?
Work through fear.
I have to be in situations
Mm-hmm.
where I can act courageous.
Yeah.
I can be courageous. So there's no way that I can learn to be courageous. I have to be in the middle of the lion's den.
Right. Right.
Okay. So I'm going to have to go through the fear. I'm going to have to go through the discomfort.
Right.
And so what's happening is this: your body
Mm-hmm.
is inviting you to process all these feelings and emotions that you have not processed, Tori.
Mm-hmm.
So there is just any number of feelings and emotions. There's fear, anger, bitterness, resentment, sadness, grief, all of this stuff. Now, the only way for me to learn how to process grief, the only way for me to learn how to process sadness, the only way for me to process my anger is to feel them.
Right.
Okay. I have to. And so here's what happens. I'm trying to find a way that I never, ever, 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 ever am stopped. I'm going to travel. I'm going to move somewhere. I'm going to go somewhere every month. I'm now, okay, that's not enough. I'm going to quit my job, move to Hawaii, get on a boat. It's not even enough to be on an island. Now I'm going to get on a boat. Okay. Now I'm going to get as far away from human beings as possible. Or I'm going to get into a van, right? And every time I feel something uncomfortable start to surface, I'm going to get in my car and start driving. That's the solution. The solution is to run away from my feelings because I do not want to process my thoughts, feelings, and emotions.
Yeah. Yeah. You're right. Spot on.
So really, this is the one of the most important aspects of this is like the asking for help. Like right now we're recording, so this is not the space to go because I know what you have in there.
Yeah.
I know what you have in there, and it has not been processed.
Yeah.
And so what's really would be really helpful is a couple of things. Okay. Number one, someone that you trust, implicitly, which could be super difficult. Okay. Because maybe there's no one you trust.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's part of the protocol. Trust no one, never get hurt.
Right.
Trust no one, never get disappointed.
Yep.
Trust no one, let no one in.
Yep.
And so I'm lonely, I'm bored, but I don't trust anybody. So catch 22. I'm damned if I do, I'm damned if I don't. But ultimately, at some point, if I want to stop running, then the only way to trust someone is to trust someone.
Yeah.
It's just like courage.
Yep. Yeah.
It's like, I don't trust anybody. So how do you learn to trust? I'm going to have to trust somebody.
Oof.
Oh, Jesus. Oh.
Yeah. I think there's one person in my life that I trust.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay. Can you reach out to him or her?
Yeah, I can. Yeah, she's my best friend.
Okay. I encourage you to try. And I mean, just give her everything you got.
Yeah.
It's time, Tori.
Yeah, I know.
Like it's time to just vomit it. Like this happened and that happened and this happened and that happened and I did this and they did that and this happened and this happened, right? And then just vocally express the feelings. So if you can say them, I am feeling this, I'm feeling that. Do not identify with it. I am angry, I'm resentful, I'm bitter. I am feeling so angry. I'm feeling so bitter. Like try and detach yourself, right?
Right.
If at first you can't, no big deal, right? But ideally you don't identify with the negativity. It is just an emotion right now that I'm trying to process.
Right.
And chances are, even though it might be in there, I'm still not connecting with it. I'm not allowing myself to connect with the rage because there's probably just a ball of rage in there that could completely decimate a small city.
I know there is, but it's like so separated from me.
Okay, so I want you to watch that documentary. Super important. That's going to help you tremendously.
Okay.
Um, you have a dog, right?
Kind of.
What
Yeah.
happened to the dog?
No, I mean it's like half my dog.
Is the dog with you now?
No.
Okay. So, ideally you would have your own dog.
Right. I was
Okay.
just with the dog like an hour ago.
Okay. So if we can't trust humans,
Right.
we can certainly trust our pets.
That's true.
They don't judge. They'll never let you down. They'll never disappoint you. They're always happy to see you. It's unconditional love 24/7 all the time.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so that's a great energy to have around you.
Right.
Okay. And so sit and talk to the dog.
Yeah.
Okay. Therapy time, buddy. Therapy dog.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And I mean, literally that energy, it's a living being connected. It is just as connected to everything else as we all are. Okay. So it is this higher form of energy that I can connect with, that
Mhm.
is super safe, is unconditional love, and allows me to express myself, express emotions.
Yeah.
Right. And so this is what's being called for. I'm on the run. My body's like, hey Tori, we gotta really sit with this stuff. Like we're gonna have to sit with this for a while, but I don't wanna. Yeah, it's time to feel sadness. I don't wanna. It's time to process this anger. I don't wanna. Okay. So there's this tug of war, and your body's like, okay, all right. I mean, I can't force you to. I guess we're just going to take a trip to Hawaii. Okay. Well, that's cool. Right. But ultimately, what you are being invited to do is feel you said it. Allow yourself to feel the feelings. That is what you're being invited to do. And I promise you, as a coach,
Yep.
the most difficult thing to get anyone to do is sit and allow themselves the grace of the discomfort, because it feels terrifying.
Yeah.
It is so uncomfortable because stuff immediately starts to come up. Like it just start. It's been repressed and suppressed for so long. You're probably exhausted all the time.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
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 Right. So it's like, I got to get rid of this stuff. Okay. So give me some feedback on this, or what's coming up.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's so pushed down. And I mean, I need to, no matter what I think no matter what I do, I just need to sit with myself and process these feelings. Or just even like connect with them and process them. Because it's like even it's so pushed down that I feel like I'm like, it's like there's me and a brick wall separated from them.
That is a great, like I got a great mental picture of that. That is brilliant, right? It's so permanent.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Like I am avoidant of permanence, but I have a brick wall
Mhm.
separating me from my feelings and emotions. Like how, like I can see it. Like I can see you sitting on one side, like staring at the wall. The feelings and the emotions are on the other side. Like, hey, let me in. Nope.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nope. You're staying over there.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'll just be a robot over here with no feelings.
Oh, and the last thing any of us is ever going to be is a robot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. The last thing, I'm sure no one's ever, no one in the recent future, if ever, has called you a robot.
No. No. No.
No, maybe a little flighty, All right. So this is good. All right. So who has some feedback for Tori? And more importantly, what came up for those of you listening?
Can I say something?
Absolutely, Ted.
First off, I answer the question, I'm not a robot all the time. I have to check a little box. It says I'm not a robot.
Oh, wow.
And I also have to say that, boy, Omar got you, Tori. You started out laughing and giggling, and you ended up wiping tears away. Um, I don't mean this literally, but I'm your father. I have a 30-year-old daughter who won't have anything to do with me. Probably in great part from what she's experienced. I want to say that my daughter is not responsible for my actions. Excuse me. My daughter is not responsible for my actions. I am. I've taken on that responsibility because it's good for me to take care of my own responsibilities. My daughter suffers a lot because of what I've done. Here's an example. I used to keep my drink out in the garage. One day I went out, and on the paper bag that this little bottle was in was a note from my daughter to me saying she wished that I would quit because it's really starting to affect her life. So what I did, what I did is I took the paper bag, I crumpled it up and threw it away. So my daughter was trying to tell me something, but I didn't want to listen. So now I'm kind of paying for my for the things that I did wrong, really. And I just wish, I don't know if your dad is alive or not yet, but I wish my daughter would unload on me. But right now she won't, because she hates me too much, and I feel responsible for how she feels. You brought a lot of things to light for me. And I know it's painful for you, but it's painful for dads too. I never meant to hurt my daughter. I was just out to get drunk, I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't realize how many people I was hurting. And it takes a long time to get over those hurts, doesn't it, Tori? It takes a long time. And there's nothing that I can do to make it up to my daughter. It's been I've got a number of sobriety dates, and I'm on 99 days right now, and I feel kind of good about it, and I feel kind of thanks. And I feel kind of, in the big scheme of things, 99 days isn't a whole heck of a lot. But it still makes me wish that my daughter could see what I'm doing. But she won't give herself the chance to do that because I'm basically a jerk to her. I'm basically not there for her when she really needs me. And I don't mean to speak for anybody but myself. I don't mean to give experience or anything to anybody. I like to talk about myself because I'll spend as much time discussing what I need to do until I find out what the heck I'm doing. Um, Unfortunately, I think you're going through the same trip. You've got to discuss things that are going on with you before you can move on. And I don't mean that as any kind of advice to anybody. I mean, it's advice to me. It's advice to me and my daughter, even though my daughter won't listen. I guess that's about it.
Ted, what feelings are coming up for you right now?
Guilt.
What else?
Well, I don't feel good about where I've been. I don't feel good about what I've done to my daughter or to my wife. My wife is here. I've been married to her for 44 years. How that ever happened, I haven't the slightest idea. But I think the main thing is I really feel guilt, and just listening to Tori is like listening to my own kid. I feel responsible, and there's nothing I can do about it. Well, there is something I can talk about it. That's one of the points of my personal recovery program, is to talk about my situation as much as I possibly can. Maybe something will happen somewhere. But there was a time when I just wanted to completely forget about my daughter, Elizabeth. Just, wasn't going to give her anything, nothing. And I've changed my mind big time. I love her. That's all there is to it.
Underneath
I just, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Underneath the guilt, what's underneath the guilt?
I don't know what you're getting at, Omar. I know it's pretty heavy.
It is heavy. It is heavy. And what's funny is you said, I can't do anything about it. And then you corrected yourself and you said, wait a minute, I can. And I was thinking to myself, I can't do anything about it. And I'm thinking, Ted, you're doing it right now. You are absolutely 100%. You are doing exactly what I suggested to Tori. You are processing your feelings and emotions. What came up was this feeling of guilt. What you're processing right now, what you're allowing yourself to process is the guilt.
I have to agree with you, and I wish that someone like Tori, who is going through somewhat of the same things that I am, only on the other side, would just trust me, would open up to me. But I just don't know. I don't know how that's going to work. I'd rather get in a van and go somewhere.
Ted, we all would, including me. Okay, we all would, because this is so painful. What you're going through right now, and what you're allowing yourself to do, as beautiful as it is, because you're doing perfectly, Ted. You're doing absolutely perfect. But it is so painful.
Well, the pain is all part of it. I have a nephew that is he's very into Eastern religions, and he actually spent 2 years on the road traveling in a van, going from place to place in a van, and he found out it was quite an expensive endeavor. Talk about, I mean, he had an anchor to that van. That van demanded his money. So again, I'm just talking about my nephew. I'm not talking about anybody else. But the last thing that I would want, and I realize that it's the last thing that I would want, is to travel in a van somewhere, because I don't want that to become my kid. I don't want that to become my baby. I need to be here. I need to be here for my wife. I need to be here in case my daughter ever wants to knock on the door, so I can let her in. I I need to be mindful of where I am, and that's really what I'm trying to do. If that fixes anything, I don't know. You know, we'll see. After 99 days, I don't know. I haven't got the slightest idea.
Oh, you've got a lot more in those 99 days than some people have in 9 years. You are putting yourself in some very vulnerable places. You're doing the work, Ted. So I want to honor you for that, because what you just did right now, very brave. Thank you. How you feeling?
Me?
Yeah, now after all that.
Well, you know, it's such a strange feeling. I mean, unloading, as I call it, like that,
Yes, that's exactly what you did.
to a number of people, including uh, uh, Travis and Tori and you. I always feel much better. I always feel much better. So I think talking about it really helps me. I feel somewhat relieved. Not totally.
It's not about totally, it's about somewhat. Like this, that is everything. That's the purpose, right? I feel some relief. And every time you do this, you're going to feel some relief. So well done. So Tori, I would love to get your feelings on what just happened here, because this was very powerful.
Yeah, it brought up a lot. And thank you, Ted, for just sharing, because I started to tear up a little bit. Yeah, I mean, it just reminded me, and it definitely helped me. I mean, my dad's no longer alive, but he used to drink in the garage, and I used to pour his alcohol down the drain. And obviously it wasn't enough, and it just reminded me a lot of kind of like what I went through as, growing up, and just hearing you and how you feel now, helped me. So I think it would help me able to kind of process a little bit. And so I'd appreciate that.
That was what an unexpected gift.
Yeah.
Like that choked me all up. I'm still choked up, right? And it's just, this is what's so beautiful and so important about being vulnerable with others. You never know what you're going to receive when you give. You just never know, right? And an unexpected story, an unexpected point of view could change everything if you allow it to, you know? And, Ted, I get that. I get that feeling of, Tori being my daughter. Like, that's how I feel about Tori, that's exactly, and she knows that, and she knows that she can come to me whenever she wants. She just chooses not to, but she has access to me all the time. Right. And it's a wonderful thing. It's a wonderful thing to know that even if you weren't able to be there 100% for your daughter, the learnings and experiences that you've developed or learned over time, you can still give it to someone else. You can still be, it's never too late. That's the important message of today. It's never too late. It's never too late to change. It's never too late to make an amends. It's never too late to share. It's never too late to be vulnerable. It's never too late to open up. It's never too late to let go. Tree Life, you got anything?
Yeah. I mean, this was it was a great call. I mean, all the way from the beginning. I mean, I can definitely relate, to Tori in the aspect of when I get overwhelmed with life. Um, I have a tendency to want to like flee, but I tend to freeze instead. But regardless, when it comes down to fight, freeze, or fly, like I'm not fighting. And it boils down to I'm being overwhelmed. And you know, circling back into like with how Ted said that with like and all the trauma talks and how I reacted to the whole thing, like yes, it makes a lot of sense. And um, you know, like I guess Ted, like I'm your daughter, right? Like I cut my dad off because he was irresponsible for his actions. And what I'm waiting for, the first step is for my father to say exactly what you said to me, right? And that's all that needs to be said. That's enough for the door to be open, right? And be like, hey son, I know that like shit happened and I'm willing to take responsibility for that. When that happens to me, that's going to be the biggest haymaker he's ever thrown to me. And it's going to be so warm and embracing because it caught me so off guard that my dad is willing to build with me, right? Like, and then now I have to process that as the son in the relationship, like, wow, my dad like made the step. He like, um, and so like, yeah, like, and that's, and me as an addict, I have like that all or nothing thinking type thing. And, um, sometimes just saying like, hey, I accept my responsibility is the home run, right? Like I don't have to like score all 10 runs right now. Like I just hit a big move type thing. And I have to be realistic with myself and understand what I'm doing, right? And it's a process and it's day by day, it's brick by brick. It's good deed built on top of good deed. And when a bad thing happens, accept it and say, hey, how can I learn what needs to go on? Like, but yes, I learned a lot from this call. You know, as always.
Man. Yeah, this was an unexpected surprise, but there was certainly, you know, great opportunities for healing across the board. Sometimes you just need to hear the thing that you've always needed to hear. It didn't necessarily need to come from the person you wanted to come from, but that's how God works, man. And that's how the universe works. I just need to hear it. I just need to hear it, or I just need to say it. And that makes all the difference. Amazing call, guys. Wow. Sending you guys beaming. I'm beaming so much love to everyone. Thank you so much. This is an incredible call. Tori, awesome. Thanks for jumping in there. I thought it was going to be light. It certainly was not. It was heavy. All right, Tim, I'm glad you turned on the video. Good to see you, brother. All right, kids. We'll see you next week, same time. Love y'all.